Some of these guys, you know, like Street Speed 717. So you get in the interior, you got the CX5 mats, you got the white leather on the door.
It comes no matter what. Like Floyd Mayweather says, with real estate, you make money in your sleep.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
All right, so I know a lot of you tune in to the channel because you like a particular car. Maybe it's the Camaro, maybe it's the Corolla, maybe it's a Mazda, you know, or maybe you just enjoy hearing my voice, whatever it is. But I'm also, not only am I a YouTuber, but I'm also somebody that enjoys watching other YouTubers. And for me, I look at some of these guys, you know, like Street Speed 717, I look at Stradman, I look at Omi and a Hellcat, I look at Will Motivation, Q the Chaotic, and I look at some of these guys and I'm like, man, how are they able to afford these cars that they have? What are they doing, right? And that was before I really started getting my own grind going. And you know, just to let you know, I'm a photographer and a business manager. So like, you know, I manage businesses and I do photography and stuff. So with that being said, that's how I pay for my cars. But then I wanted to start it, you know, looking into other things I can do to make more money. And I wanted to see what it is that a lot of people are doing that is not going to take that much to do. So for this video, I'm going to interview this young guy. Oh, he's relatively young. And you know, he makes a lot of money. Like, I'm not going to disclose how much, but he makes really good money. And he's in real estate, but he doesn't do traditional real estate. So I wanted to kind of bring to you guys, you know, opportunities, things that you can do yourself, if you know, things that can make good money that you don't have to go to school for 20 years to be able to make that money. You know what I mean? And it's funny because this guy, I know he has his master's and stuff like that, but he didn't have, once he figured out the game and he figured out what he needed to do to make the type of money to afford the lifestyle that he wanted, he basically made it simple for anybody else that wants to do it now. Like, they'll be able to do it themselves. So pay attention, listen to what he says, and see if this is something that may work for you. So I'm doing this interview because I wanted to introduce like a good friend of mine, but also I want to give you guys another way, another outlet of things that you can do to make money so you can afford and get all the cars that you want. We're going to discuss different things that you can do in the real estate world to make money other than selling houses. And for that, we wanted to bring out my good friend Khalil. And he's going to kind of explain what it is that he does that's very different from what everyone else is doing. So I'm going to, first and foremost, why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Hi, my name is Khalil Bond. I'm the owner and managing broker of Condo Realty. Condo Realty is a full-service property management company, and I also own real estate, as Keston explained earlier.
All right, so you own real estate, right? Now, when I first met you, there's something else that you were doing that really captured my attention. Now, what was it that you were doing that caused us to meet?
I think we met when I was visiting a property and I was attempting to get everybody in the building to agree to split the cost of a termite inspection, which costs thousands of dollars.
Right.
And I just haphazardly knocked on Keston's door, and it was very, very dark. He pulled the curtains back very aggressively, and I felt intimidated. I backed up. He came outside. He said, "No, it's cool, man." And we started talking. We hit it off, and we've been speaking about every week.
All right. So let me ask you this, man. What made you come up with the idea of getting into the real estate game and not being that guy that sells 20 houses a month in order to get wealthy? What made you decide to go into management?
Well, very good question. So with management, my fee comes in every single month without fail. I manage about 60 units, and if those people do not pay, they will be evicted. Mm-hmm. So with the management fee, I constantly have a fee. I constantly have a stream of revenue, versus with real estate sales, I liken it to cutting hair. Nothing against you barbers out there. However, When you stop cutting hair, the money stops.
Mm-hmm.
If you purchase a piece of real estate or if you manage a piece of real estate, the money comes no matter what. Like Floyd Mayweather says, with real estate, you make money in your sleep.
You make money in your sleep.
So
yeah.
I do not have to constantly chase a commission, chase a seller, chase a buyer. I simply collect rent, evict people when they don't pay rent, and fix things when they break.
And I would say there's a lot more that goes, you know, because it sounds really simple the way you say it, and it is simple in some ways.
Absolutely.
But then don't you also have to have lawyers on hand and stuff like that, just in case, you know, somebody doesn't want to get evicted and things of that nature?
Well, nobody wants to be evicted, obviously. But yes, I do have a string of vendors that I've been using for a long time. In addition to lawyers, I have AC contractors and painters and plumbers and handymen. But I do most of the work myself, and after you do it for a while, you don't necessarily have to call a lawyer for everything. I know which documents to post. If and when we get to the eviction part, of course I'm not going to court without legal counsel.
Right.
But I know what documents to post in the file on my own when somebody does not pay rent.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, man. So how long have you been in this game? Because you just for me talking to you, I could tell you know what you're doing. Like you definitely know everything in and out of what you do.
Right. Now I understand. So I started my company, Condo Realty, in 2017. So it's been about 4 or 5 years.
Nice.
However, in the commercial side, I was a regional property manager from Okeechobee County all the way down to Key West. I managed 24 multifamily apartment complexes. I was over the entire region. I had about 50 employees that reported to me, from property managers, assistant property managers, maintenance technicians, maintenance supervisors, porters, and leasing agents. So I did that for about 14 years, ever since I got out of grad school. I went to University of Florida. I earned a master's degree in real estate finance, and I've been a regional property manager for 14 years. 3 years ago, I started my company, and a couple of months ago, I actually resigned from my job, and I've been doing full-time property management for 2 weeks now.
Well, to me, I think you've been. I feel like your job has been the side job, because I look at how hard you work on the other stuff, and I always saw that as that being your main thing. Because I know you're being modest and everything on the camera, but this brother's got money.
I appreciate the compliment, and you're absolutely right. And that's one thing, is real estate is a way to earn an income and have your W-2 job eventually be your second, your second income. So Keston is absolutely right. I mean, I thank you for the compliment. I attempt to be modest, but humility goes a long way. But yeah, he's absolutely right. My day job, my W-2 job, was where I went to work every single day. And as I acquired more assets for myself, as I acquired more assets for my clients, I began to move a lot closer towards doing this full time and having my W-2 job as my my W-2 job became my side hustle. I showed up because they gave me a paycheck, but I did not have to go.
Last question, right? What would you recommend somebody do that wants to get into the real estate game and they have next to no money or help or anything, and just to get them started? How would you recommend they get in?
Well, let me tell you how I got in, and let me tell you how I recommend people to get in. And ironically, I do not recommend people to get in like I got in. However, if you have enough discipline and enough enthusiasm, I'm going to tell you how I did it. The very first property that I purchased cash. It was a $15,000 condo. Half the money, $7,500, came from my tax refund.
Wow.
The other half of the money, the second $7,500, came from a cash advance on a credit card. I am not condoning the purchase of real estate on a credit card.
Right.
I just said that to say that it's possible. Everybody says, oh, it takes money to make money. Well, I had no money.
Right.
I had a tax refund and a credit card.
And a credit card.
But I knew that I had enough discipline that when I took this condo and I bought it for $15,000 and I sold it for $30,000, I wasn't gonna buy a gold chain. I knew that I was gonna pay back the $7,500.
Right.
So I took my $7,500 tax refund, which I did not have to pay back,
Mm-hmm.
and I took the $7,500 cash advance on my credit card, which I did have to pay back.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the property for $15,000. I sold the property for $30,000. I paid back the $7,500,
Right.
and I pocketed $22,500. So that's how I do it. Full disclosure, I do not agree with financing real estate with credit cards.
Unless you're an extremely disciplined individual like you, and
That's
that's one of the I think things that are the key to your success. From me talking to you, you know, like as much as I do, the things that I notice over and over is that you're very disciplined and you're very consistent.
Absolutely.
You know, because it's like right now you can afford to be driving around in a brand new BMW or you know whatever it is that you want. But tell them the list of cars that you have and the situation of whether they're paid off or not.
All right. Well, I wouldn't call it a list. I do have 3 cars. That's not a big deal.
Oh yeah.
I know people with 10 cars.
Yeah. But
I mean, I have a 1999 F-150. That's my beater. 2 people attempted to buy it from me last week.
Wow.
It's not for sale. You cannot buy it. That's
Right.
what I put my kayaks in. That's what I put my fishing poles in.
Mm-hmm.
And my snorkeling equipment when I go to the beach with my kids 4 or 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And my other car is which me and Keston talk about a lot because he has race car friends. And I have a GS Lexus. It's a GS 350. I'm not a car guy. Keston's a car guy. But I have a 2015 GS 350 Lexus. It's an F Sport model. And
it's clean.
the car is paid off.
Yeah.
I don't finance cars. And my other vehicle is a LX 570. It's a Lexus, the large SUV. And
I think that's the one
well.
I saw you and I was like, man, that thing looked nice.
that is paid off as well.
So you have 3 vehicles.
Absolutely.
All of them are paid off.
That is correct.
And you're not even a car person.
No. I also have several houses that are also paid off.
Exactly.
Debt free, man. Promote debt free.
That and me tell you, the way how you get there is by being extremely disciplined. Like, so if you have an idea or a goal or something that you want to do, let them know that it can be done. They just have to be disciplined. They got to work hard and stay consistent at it.
Oh, absolutely. That is 100% factual. You could have anything. You just cannot have it all right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's all timing because wealth is not really measured in money. Wealth is measured in time. If you get $100,000 a year, and I get $100,000 a year, but you spend $99,000 a year out of your 100, and I spend $25,000 a year out of my 100. Next year you'll have $2,000, and I'll have $150,000.
Exactly.
Because I saved $75,000 the first year, and I saved $75,000 the second year. In the third year, I'm probably gonna turn my 150 into 300. So the third year, you're gonna have $6,000, and I'm gonna have $425,000.
You know, I just realized I think we need to have you on the channel several different times because you have a lot of gems to drop for people to learn, man. But we're gonna cut it short for here. But do you have a website that people can go to, or you just want them to email you?
Yeah, I think you should just email me. That is that's the quickest way to get a hold of me. Email me or text me. kbond at condorealtymgt.com or 561-888-9194.
All right, awesome, man. Hey, it was awesome having you on the channel, Khalil.
Hey, I appreciate it, Keston. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, guys, that's his billboard. That's the guy that we're just interviewing, Khalil Bond, and that's his company. It's Condo Realty, and the number is 561-888-9194. And yeah, man, you can see stress-free property management for condo renters. And I'm sure he does, different rentals as well. But, if you have a property that you want to purchase and have somebody else manage it, call up Khalil at 561-888-9194. And you see the billboard. You know when someone has a billboard, they're doing it big. So you're going to get great service. It reminded him of a Bentley because of the leather, the type of leather and where it's at. I'll show you what